So the question is, why this song?
Bitten by a bug and I don't know what it was, but I'm starting to hallucinate like I was given some drugs.
I was fascinated by this idea of sex magic. The idea that there are these secret societies that seem to, at least through lore and, conspiracies, as well as some documented evidence of these secret societies going back a long time, participating in these like sex rituals. You see kind of depicted through like Eyes Wide Shut and movies like that. Beyond the idea of like sexual deviance or billionaires just being bored looking for some way to spice up their life. Like, okay, well, if we just overgeneralize the idea, they were just bored billionaires and so they like to participate in some weird pageantry around it. But the question then became, is there anything to it though? Like, is there anything scientifically that would be like underlying it besides all of the like oogie boogie scary cultural narratives get spun up around like any use of sex as if it's like some sort of demonic thing? And so if we stop projecting into that, the fascination becomes, is there any kind of truth, universal knowledge, truth that lies there? And my thought process was this. If there's a group of people who are really powerful, and there is a saying that knowledge equals power, then it kind of goes to show this idea that, well, doesn't that mean then maybe they have more knowledge? And so the idea was, is there anything that connects like a scientific truth to the idea behind why these people would be participating in these types of sexual rituals, sex magic, and that kind of a thing? So I started to investigate that, dove down the rabbit hole, and really started to connect some dots with some ideas that are already culturally relevant. I mean, for example, Tony Robbins has a multi-billion-dollar industry, and he basically founded an industry in a sense. I know he wasn't like the only one, but he is a very big, iconic name in this field of kind of law of attraction, raising your personal power, manifesting what you want in your life, all this kind of stuff. So that like realm of knowledge and understanding in terms of like all the spin-off stuff like The Secret and What the Bleep Do We Know and all of these different kind of new age philosophies of living with abundance, and even to the like prosperity gospels that Joel Osteen teaches, right, is like basically the entire foundational belief in all of that. The thread that kind of weaves it all together is this idea that if you change your state of consciousness, if you raise your state, your energy personally, and you focus your intention on manifesting what it is that you want in life, that you can actually bring that true. And modern science, as well as even old CIA documents, have proven that our thoughts produce a frequency. Well, we already know through radio transmissions and all other kinds of Wi-Fi signals, frequency carries data. It carries information. And with Einstein's theory of E equals mc squared, basically proving that all energy has mass, then they're reacting with basically energy reacting with matter. We now have at least a basis for understanding that your thoughts then do create or can create your reality. Well then, okay, so why sex? Why are we using sex ritual? Why are they doing Eyes Wide Shut? If it's not deviance, if we can stop trying to exit the highway here at the easy things like deviance or boredom, billionaires just wanting to engage in exciting sexual deviance or whatever, then what? Okay, well, that led me to sex is one of the most energetic, personal power raising activities that we can actually do. Because if we, beyond the realm of science fiction, and I mean this in no way being like all woo-woo, but like the reality of the interaction of sexual activity when done with like a man and a woman, there is literally a portal that basically opens up that if the conditions are right, we literally pull a soul into this realm. Like we literally pull from a spiritual perspective, we literally pull a spirit into this realm in the form of a child that is then given birth, right? Like, and brought into this life. So it just kind of goes to that thought process of, okay, so if sex is something that raises our state very easily, I think we all know, everybody that's participated in sex, either solo or with a person or with a group of people, all know that the energy level of that, like personally, raises up pretty substantially. And so when you think about how that kind of thread just weaves through human culture, personal power, energy, the idea, then the question that kind of pops up in my mind is going, well, wait, what if there is ancient knowledge around the concept of being able to raise your energy state, to be able to manifest the ideas that you have, to be able to kind of like quantum leap in terms of skills you want to access, knowledge you want to access, things you want to create, and there were groups of people that had this knowledge, then it would stand to reason that if we wanted to keep that knowledge away from people and we wanted to hoard it for ourselves, then we might create a narrative around the idea that any type of sexual deviance is wrong or demonic or evil or scary or anything like that. So it just kind of, that idea was really at the heart of why I wrote Bitten by a Bug, was that it was kind of this, that was like the underlying theme behind it, was like trying to investigate that idea. And so then I just wove it into a narrative of like going out to a bar, meeting a woman, kind of flipping the table a little bit in terms of going out to a bar. Usually the women are the prey. And because that's kind of the whole thought process is like guys go out to a bar to get laid. And so they got to pick up women. So that ultimately in that framework of language basically paints women as the prey in that scenario. It's like men are going out to hunt and women are the prey that are being hunted. Well, in the story that I told him, Bitten by a Bug, was like I kind of just like flipped the table on that and was like, okay, well, what if there was like these women who were, you know, almost like sorceress level understanding of personal power and energy, like a coven of witches that were, you know, and I just kind of played with all of these like historical themes and tropes basically, to tell a story about basically like a guy that goes out to a bar, picks up a chick, they want to like get sexual, but like not at the bar. So they end up going back to a crib or whatnot, get into the fucking car, and then all of a sudden he passes out, he gets drugged, wakes up, and now there's like this whole scene that unravels. And so yeah, that was kind of the whole narrative of it. And the last, you know, verse was really written to showcase that psychedelic spiritual type of situation that occurs and how it feels very dreamlike, as well as like when you have these very deep spiritual loving relationships that, you know, kind of come and maybe go in your life, where it's like a relationship kind of is for a time and it's really deep and you experience all this like love and this very spiritual deep connection, but then the relationship deteriorates and almost it like poof kind of you know, just kind of vanishes and kind of has that dream-like quality to it. And so yeah, I just try to tell a narrative in like a 3-act kind of situation of like, how do I portray kind of that fascination with that concept, is where it was really where I was trying to go with that. So yeah.